The bodies of 5 children and 4 adults now recovered after flash flooding swept through a popular recreation area in central Arizona. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News.
It's frightening. It's scary.
More than 100 people gathered at a swimming hole in Gila County, northeast of Phoenix, when a sudden thunderstorm sent walls of water down a rocky area of the Tonto National Forest, stripped bare of vegetation by recent wildfires.
This is in central Arizona. This is the monsoon season, and thunderstorms and heavy rains can develop very quickly.
Sergeant David Hornig with the Gila County Sheriff's Department says the youngest drowning victim was just 2 years old, a 13-year-old boy still missing. Arizona Senator John McCain recovering from surgery he had Friday in Phoenix to remove a blood clot above his left eye. Why Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell postponed a vote on a revised Obamacare replacement measure, also postponed.
The Congressional Budget Office was supposed to be releasing a report on the new version of the GOP measure to repeal Obamacare this week, but now they are delaying that. The last CBO report said the Senate's original health care bill would mean 22 million fewer people would be insured over the next decade. But Health and Human Services Director Tom Price says that's not true with this new version, thanks to tax credits for low-income people.
We're going to be able to cover more individuals on this bill than are currently covered.
Price on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures.
Fox's Jill Nadeau.
This is an awful situation. My heart goes out to everybody involved.
Minneapolis Mayor Betsy Hodges after the fatal police shooting of a 40-year-old woman said to be from Australia. She called police after hearing noise in an alley. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
Plenty of sunshine, nice from start to finish. 89 for the high this afternoon. Low humidity tonight, gorgeous. What a wonderful evening on the way. Clear skies and nice 65 for the overnight low. Sunday, partly sunny skies, few more clouds around. Looking for a high near 90. The heat and humidity building back next week. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
Honey, it's time to leave for the game. Are you still in the basement? We're going to be late.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to clean up the water from last night's rain. These cracks in the basement walls aren't getting any better.
I told you to call Midwest Basement Tech. They fixed our neighbor's basement and it's been dry ever since. And Midwest Basement Tech even guarantees it.
Don't miss another second of your favorite game because of basement or crawl space problems. Call Midwest Basement Tech at 1-800-848-9805 or visit us on the web at MidwestBasementTech.com for money-saving coupons. You don't have to live with leaks, cracks, and mold in your basement. We work year-round and our estimates are free. Does your home's foundation have bowed or cracked walls? This could be a sign of foundation failure. Call now for a free expert analysis of your home's foundation problems. Serving both sides of the river. Call us at 800-848-9805 for your local service tech or on the web at MidwestBasementTech.com.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce is challenging for anybody, but if you're a member of our country's military, those challenges can impair your ability to perform your duty. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand the unique problems that military families face during divorce, and these issues range from parenting to pensions, and they require an understanding of military life and law. We've been working to protect guys in the military for over 25 years, and we know that nothing has the potential to distract you from your mission like a family crisis, and that's where Cordell & Cordell can serve you. Let us protect you on the home front while you protect us on other fronts. Thank you for your service.
Military members are eligible to receive a discount off Cordell & Cordell services. Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. Offices in St. Louis, St. Charles, Jefferson County, Edwardsville, and Belleville.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Power, performance, style, and a commitment to be the best. Jaguar St. Louis knows what it takes to be a winning team. Come out today and test drive the all-new F-Pace, recently named the 2017 World Car of the Year at the New York International Auto Show. Plus, all-new Jaguar models are backed by Jaguar Elite Care, our best-in-class coverage. Jaguar St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company, on Olive Boulevard and JaguarSt.Louis.com. Class is cars sold by luxury automobile brands and claim is based on total package of warranty, maintenance, and other coverage programs.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The news that's now
Trump care.
They've now taken the bill and made it worse.
I think this will unite every Republican.
Mitch has to pull it off. He's got to pull it.
concise and current.
During his hearing, Chris Wray continued.
No one asked me for any kind of loyalty oath.
There's no question that he's qualified.
St. Louis's FM NewsTalk.
Donald Trump Jr.
Exceedingly troubling.
FM NewsTalk 97.1.
If you want to talk about having relationships with Russia, I'd look no further than the Clintons.
Younger, smarter, better.
This is the Tim Jones Show.
You can't erase history and expect to not repeat it.
Everything's hunky-dory as long as you agree with me.
I think there's a revival in the city. It's just typical liberalism.
The Tim Jones Show.
If there's anything that we need more in the state of Missouri, it's population growth.
He is a businessman. I've owned 3 small businesses. They are one-sided.
They just say the American taxpayer will take care of it.
I think all of this stuff, Tim, is more orchestrated than a Nancy Pelosi bowel movement.
The Tim Jones Show on FM NewsTalk 97.1.
Hey, good evening, my people. Happy Sunday. Happy weekend. Welcome to FM News Talk 97.1. Welcome to the Tim Jones Show. Hopefully you're inside, curled up around your radio right now, because it's 1,000 degrees outside, right, Ken?
Hugging the radio. Good evening, Mr. Speaker.
Hey, good evening. Did you have a good weekend?
Awesome.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you all for joining us, and we're happy to have you here. Hey, it's the Tim Jones Show. You can listen to us, of course, on your terrestrial radio or 971talk.com. We've got the SoundCloud up there and the podcasts up there,
yes,
and it's looking really good. Yeah.
You can get it anytime you want, 24/7.
That's right, 24. You can listen to my voice 24/7.
That's right.
It's my wife's worst nightmare. Yeah. I've got some special guests in studio tonight. We'll get to them in just a second, but we've got a huge show up for you tonight. As I always say, 7-8 hours of substance packed into 2. Big week, and I've got some great guests to help me break it down. In the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined this evening by an old friend of mine who I still work with. I work with him actually more and more each month, it seems, and that is the great Grover Norquist of Americans for Tax Reform, Ken. He's going to join us live from Washington, D.C., and I think this may be my first national guest. There'll be many, many, many more, but Grover's my first big-time national guest, and I'm really excited to have him on tonight. He is the founder and president of Americans for Tax Reform. You all know the group. You all know the Taxpayer Protection Pledge that can be found at atr.org. Grover Norquist. And I'm very excited because I helped chair the Missouri meeting. Grover has this awesome gathering, this big, giant conservative cabal every week, every Wednesday. It's every Wednesday at 10 o'clock in D.C. If you're ever there, and you're interested, let me know. I can help get you in. It's off the record, but there's 200 people that show up for this thing, and it is the great flea market of conservatism. Just things that have happened that week, things that are coming up, the inside baseball. It's wonderful. So he's got meetings in all of the 50 states. I think 48 states now. There's 54 meetings in 48 states. And I lead the Missouri Center-Right Coalition here in Missouri. So we have a meeting once a month, and it's patterned after the HR meeting. So very excited to talk to Grover. I'm going to talk to Grover about what is going on that he's hearing in D.C. with the Obamacare replacement plan. Is it going to be repeal, replace, implode, whatever? So we're going to talk to Grover. In the 8 o'clock hour, so we'll talk to Grover around after our 7:20-ish break, about 7:25. So he'll be in this hour. Next hour, we'll talk to another very good friend of mine, Mayor James Knowles, who is the mayor of the city of Ferguson. And I wanted to have Mayor Knowles on for a number of reasons. Number one, Ken, we're hitting what? Is this the third-year anniversary of the Ferguson riots. I think third-year anniversary.
I think something like, 15.
So, yep. So think 14, 15, yeah, it's third-year anniversary. So Mayor James Knowles is going to be probably preparing for that, and hopefully it's less and less. Hopefully we have more and more teachable moments as we approach these anniversaries and less bad stuff going on. But we're going to talk to Mayor James Knowles about that. Also, Governor Greitens unveiled this big safety plan last week for the state of Missouri, and I think it's a good first step to deal with the massive crime problem here in the city of St. Louis. It's our number one issue. Mayor Lyda Krewson should be addressing as our number one issue. Hopefully now she can get past Confederate monuments now that one's gone, and we can get on to real stuff.
And abortion sanctuaries.
Yeah, sanctuary city stuff and all that. We can talk about crime. I want to talk to the mayor about that. And also, maybe most importantly, I found out he's a huge Game of Thrones fan.
All right.
So, yeah, it starts tonight. So maybe we'll play the theme for him before he comes on.
I'll look for that.
Mayor James Knowles joins us in the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:25 or so. I've got lots of sound to bring you. This was a full day on the on the talk shows, and I've got lots of media malpractice for you at the 7:42 slot. We'll have to do our media malpractice segment. We'll just break all that down. So, to kind of focus myself, Ken, I decided last week I would do I would have like an outline for the show, because we talk about so much, which is great. But we're definitely going to talk about 3 things every week. We'll probably end up talking about 30 things, but we'll talk about these 3 for sure. So without further ado, let's get to the big highlights this week. Tim's top 3.
Now, the Tim Jones Show presents
Tim's Top 3.
And it's 3 because it rhymes.
That's
sort
right.
of. It's
we'll all
elegant.
teased anyway.
That's right. So this week, we're going to talk about how the Russians are coming. Ken, they're still coming.
I know they are.
They're still coming. The Russians are still coming.
I hear anyway.
And God forbid you put Russian dressing on your salad these days, because you might be implicated in one of the biggest non-scandals of our lifetime. So the Russians are coming. Secondly, Obamacare. Repeal, replace, implode. We don't know what's going to happen with it. There's going to be a delay, I just heard today, because Senator John McCain had to have a little surgery. He had a little blood clot above his eyebrow. So he's okay. He's fine. He's been tweeting and everything and telling everybody he's good. But there's going to be a little delay on that, so we'll have more buildup and more tension. And last but not least, the Missouri Senate race, the U.S. Senate race. Who's in? Who's out?
It's a great question.
It's a great question. We got some people that have said they're going to run. Three names this week. Austin Peterson from the Kansas City side, former Libertarian candidate for president, running as a Republican. A fellow by the name of Tony Minetti. God bless him. He served our country. I think he was an Air Force pilot, if my memory's correctly on that. Tony Minetti from mid-Missouri. And then over here in St. Louis, Representative Paul Kurtman announced an exploratory committee this week. So we've got Kansas City, mid-Missouri, and St. Louis all covered. And I think there's going to be more. We're all waiting on somebody. I'll tell you who that somebody is later in the show.
Yeah, we need to get Paul on maybe, or all of them actually. I talked with Jim Lemke, and he's, I think, helping him with the exploratory committee. Sure, absolutely. We'll do that. So that's the top 3. Hey, without further ado, I said I had some special guests in the studio. We've had a live studio audience, Ken, 2 weeks in a row now. I know, it's crazy. We had the young man who was getting his merit badge for Boy Scouts. I'll think of them in a minute. Browns, the Brown family, right, was in here last week. Yes,
Adam Brown, there. Adam Brown was in here last week with his dad, and he's getting his merit badge for radio. And Ken talked to him all about the technical side. And I think he's more interested. I had a tough time getting him on the microphone. But these next guests, you can't get them off the microphone most of the time. And a couple of them are professionals. They're veterans. They've been in here several times with me. Last time I think they were in here was a year or two ago on the Randy Tobler Show. I came in, and Kelly Webb took care of them and all that, and so on and so forth. So maybe they're – I think one of them was with me on a Christmas break or something. So Anyway, joining me live in studio are friends of the show. You've heard them many times. My wonderful daughters, Katie and Abby. Girls, say hello.
Hi. Hi.
Okay, there's Katie and Abby, and they're on summer break, of course, and their mother wishes that break was over by now. My wonderful wife, Suzanne, is in studio with me. She's the first time she's been in studio with me on the air. So, Suzanne, you can say hello.
Hello, how are you all tonight?
You're in the microphone of Denise Schaefer, another great lady who keeps me in between the ditches on the radio. Yes.
I appreciate that.
And we have some special guests from all the way from the land of the Cleaves. They're Indians fans. They are Cavs fans. We'll hold none of that against them. Okay. And Ken, you know I have this eclectic T-shirt collection. So tonight I wore one of my Cleveland T-shirts.
Slimans?
I got Slimans on here, and I'll ask them about this. I had Slimans when I was up at the Republican National Convention last year, and it was delicious. It's a deli right in downtown. I've got their cousins here, Michael and Allie Barrows.
Hello.
There's Michael. Michael's voice gets deeper every time I see him, and he gets taller. He's now taller than me, which is disturbing and discouraging because I'm still short. So, hey, you guys been to Slimans? You guys been to Slimans?
We have not.
You haven't? No. Neither of you? I bet your dad has been to Slimans.
Yes.
Yeah. Uncle George has been to Slimans. Yeah. So Slimans is in this brownstone, kind of on the edge of downtown, and it's this family that's run it forever. And the sandwiches are like 3 feet high, and it's what you would think of they would be serving in Cleveland, Ohio, up in the upper Midwest. The pastrami and the Reubens with the sauerkraut, and I bet you they have Russian dressing.
Maybe.
It's probably going to be an inquisition now that I mentioned that. Yeah.
They're probably investigating
The FBI is on their way to Slimans. So, hey, kids, how's summer been going? Michael and Allie, how's summer been going?
It's been going well.
Pretty good.
How was the journey across the upper Midwest down to St. Louis?
It was okay. It was very long.
Did you guys have like 4 dogs in the car and mom and
felt like it.
Yeah.
Felt like
Michael,
it,
you
yeah.
flew in today, right? Was this your first plane ride?
It was. We had a dog.
Hey, Michael, you got to get on the microphone. There you go.
I did. It was my first solo flight.
And Michael, you're interested in radio. That's mainly why you're here today, right?
Yeah.
And all the ladies came along for the ride. So,
True.
Although Katie thinks she is already a radio announcer.
Yeah, I've been on here like 3 times.
You're a veteran, right? You're going to be taking over the Almond Show pretty soon.
I will.
Yeah, Jamie has his daughters on sometimes too, and they kind of take over the show. So anyway, so the cousins are going to be here all this week, right? You're going to be here all this week?
Yes.
And my understanding is you're going to have tour of Missouri a little bit?
Yep.
Where are you going to go tomorrow? Do you know?
We're going to go to the University of Missouri, and we're going to get a tour of the campus, and then we're going to get a special tour of the journalism school.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great. And Michael, you are going into what grade next year?
Going in 9th grade.
Whoa, freshman in high school.
Yeah.
That's frightening. I remember you, and I remember before there was you. How about that? That's a long time ago. Yes. And Allie, what's been going on for you this summer?
Sleepaway camp and then acting camp.
Okay. And Michael, what sports are you playing these days? I can't keep track.
Track and field and soccer.
Wonderful. Okay. Excellent. So, Katie, are you very happy that your cousins are here? You usually are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay.
If you said no, that would be a problem. And Abby, how about you?
Yeah, I'm glad they're here.
Okay, very good. Abby gets around that microphone. That's very good. So, and to my daughters, you guys have been very busy this summer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
We've been to a lot of camps.
What's next? What's this week? What camp is this week, Katie?
We're going to Little Chefs at the Y. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you going to do at Little Chefs?
And we're going to cook, and every day is like a different thing to cook, different food to cook, and then we do a cookout on Friday. And yeah, and our friends are coming with us.
Okay, very good. Michael and Allie, you want to say hi to your parents?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Okay, and Katie, you got any friends you want to say hello to? Not all 35 of them. Just
I don't have 35 friends.
Okay. Who do you want to say hi to?
Hi, Olivia and Nat.
Okay, and yeah. Abby, who do you got?
Hi, Olivia, Nat, and Brooke.
Okay, wonderful. And you got one more. This is it.
Yes.
Okay.
And Emma Cohen.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, Michael, Allie, thanks for visiting. We'll let you guys stay and watch a little bit. Katie and Abby, great to have you back. And thanks to Mommy, who's always the chauffeur, who drove them down here. So
it gave me a break from doing laundry and cooking, which is what I'm usually doing this Sunday evening.
But your cooking is really good.
I won't pretend that I help with any of that. So anyway.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all very much. Well, you guys can stay for a few minutes, but we're gonna get to a little business here, okay? Because we got to do a couple things here. So, I told you this week that, a lot happened. We have the continuing Russian saga with, the Donald Trump Jr. Information coming out about the fact that he had a meeting. And I'm going to talk to you about that meeting later and why that's really not relevant to anything at the end of the day. Obamacare, repeal, replace, implode, and the Missouri Senate race, who's in, who's out. I caught this clip that I thought was fascinating, and I always am interested when these two get together and talk because I find them very interesting. This was an interview with George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, and they do a lot of work together. They've done a lot of humanitarian work together. They kind of run around the country together. They're kind of like buddies, And they definitely have differences of opinion on policy decisions. So Bill Clinton made some references here. They were being asked, like, what do you need to do to run for president? And like, what kind of things do you have to have internally, and where do you go from here? And I always feel like when Clinton's talking, he makes all these, it's very Freudian in a sense because he doesn't name names, but you kind of know who he's talking about. So George answers first, President Bush answers first, and then President Clinton answers second. So here's what President Bush said, and this is why I continue to like this guy. This is what he said about what you need to be if you're going to run for president.
Answer this. For those who are presidential scholars or other people watching, if somebody wants to be president of the United States, is the quality that is most important hard work, intelligence, optimism, luck? What do you think it takes for somebody who says, I want to be president, I want to be like you, I want to be like you?
Humility. I think it's really important to know what you don't know and listen to people who do know what you don't know.
That's why I've always liked the guy. He's kind of he's an everyman. I think a lot of people identified with him. And then President Clinton, Bill Clinton, because that's the only President Clinton we have, praise God, jumps in. And listen to what he says. And it's so funny. Every time he makes these long... Bill's big fault is sometimes talking too much. Think about who he might be referring to during this clip.
I also think you have to begin with the end in mind. That is, you have to say, yeah, you got to win the election. But why in the heck are you running? That's the other thing I noticed about him. When he ran for governor against Ann Richards, he didn't say Ann Richards is a klutz. He said, I want to be governor because I want to do 1, 2, 3 things. A couple of them I didn't agree with, but he had an agenda. If you want to be president, realize it's about the people, not about you.
No.
And when it's over...
Who's he talking about there?
And that's what a lot of these people who are real arrogant in office, they forget. Time passes. And it passes more quickly than you know. You want to be able to say, people are better off when I quit. Kids had a better future. Things were coming together. You don't want to say, God, look at all the people I beat or the people I worked over. I think the most important thing is to be humble, to listen, to realize everybody's got a story. All the things I learned as a kid.
Listen, the only thing you disagreed with in my platform was that Texas ought to take Arkansas.
Yeah, President Bush always got the one-liners ready, but I hope Hillary doesn't get a hold of that tape because there's a lot of references to her in that, I think.
I think so, too. He's always a politician, boy, all the way.
I'll tell you what, the way. He's really good. Hey, I want to talk to Bob real quick for our break here. Hey, Bob, good evening. Welcome to the Tim Jones Show.
Yes, sir, my brother. How you doing?
Oh, it's Brother Bob. How you doing, Brother Bob?
Well, Bob is doing real good, and you are my brother in terms of the Speaker of the House. I covered the Governor Guyton, I call him Governor G, out there Monday in North St. Louis.
Okay, so you were at the...
it went real good.
So, Brother Bob, you were at the press conference up there with Governor Guyton's?
Yeah, I'm an independent media. I was there.
Yes.
I have the videotape of Bruce Franks, the new state representative, Toby Russell, who has his organization affiliated with Black Lives Matter and so forth. But the point I'm making is, Speaker of the House, what other governor have ever come to St. Louis and brought a plan and resources like he did? Can you recall one?
No.
I go way back
well, Jay Nixon sort of hid from St. Louis during his 8 years, Brother Bob.
Yeah, the former state senator J.B. Jett Banks, I was his secretary, so I know the good and the bad of what is happening in politics. This was a golden opportunity for nonpartisan politics.
Yes, sir.
And I'm so disappointed with the lack of consistent black leadership here in St. Louis and the metro area.
Well, Brother Bob, I'm glad you said that because I agree with you.
Would say that the Black Lives Matter people come together, the Republicans, the Democrats, the Independents, the Constitutional Libertarians, around to implement our governor plan, which is Missouri's St. Louis safety plan. And when you go through this, I got it in my hand right here. You go through this. I work with Governor. I go through the security, shake his hand. We hug each other, and we talk. And his aide, I'm with him. We're doing a lot of things behind the scenes. But this governor, Missouri St. Louis safety plan, this is where the leadership in a lot of crucial. She is full of stuff.
Brother Bob, I could not agree with you more. Hey, my friend, I got to run to a break, Brother Bob. But we're going to talk to Mayor James Knowles later in the show, so you stay tuned.
One of my great friends. See if you would let me talk with him also.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brother Bob. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Hey, Michael, Allie, thanks for visiting the studio this evening. Michael, we'll get you guys hooked up with Mr. Ken over here later on. Katie, Abby, always good to have you here. Thank you, girls. Love you very much. And to my wonderful wife, Suzanne, I could not do any of this without her. Thank you for being the most patient woman in the state of Missouri.
Oh, so nice to hear that. Thank you.
Hey, it's the Tim Jones Show. We've got so much more straight ahead, including Grover Norquist, founder and president of Americans for Tax Reform. He's up next here on FM News Talk 97.1.
This is the Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1, 98.7 and AM 1490, or streaming live at 971talk.com and the 97.1 mobile app.
Allman here. Be listening to Allman in the morning at 8:10 for your chance to win tickets to see Nickelback live with special guest Daughtry. That's coming up Tuesday night, July 25 at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Get all the details and a bonus chance to win at 971talk.com.
Thank you, St. Louis. We had a wonderful June. We sold over 200 new and certified pre-owned Kias. This is Craig Suntrup. Listen to these deals.
Trade up at Suntrup.
It's Suntrup Kia's Red Hot July Savings Event. Lease a 2017 Sorrento for $189 a month. Or lease a Suntrup Kia Soul just $139 a month. Or get into a Forte Frenzy with lease payments as low as $99 a month.
The Kia manufacturer challenged us, so I went out and bought additional Sorrentos, Souls, and Fortes. We have a great selection, all colors, all models, at unbelievable savings.
And with a lifetime powertrain warranty, first-year service at no charge, there's no better place to buy than Suntrup Kia.
And remember about our Suntrup solution.
At Suntrup Kia, we'll do whatever it takes to get you on the road with great financing.
Trade up at Suntrup.
Approved credit based on 36 months, 10K miles per year with 2,000 due at signing plus DTNL acquisition fee, 0 security deposit, negative equity. Applied to new loan offer found in combo rate 731.17.
We want to see you in a Kia.
2 great locations and at SuntrupKia.com.
Hey, I want you right now. You're home. You're probably maybe talking about finances around the kitchen table after Sunday night dinner, and you couldn't go to a better website tonight. Convergent Wealth Management, ConvergentWM.com. You know, I've gotten to know John and Jeannie over at Convergent Wealth Management really well. They are a full-service, one-stop shop. They're an RIA firm, a CPA firm, independent insurance firm. They're fully licensed to meet all of your financial needs. You know, I said to John the first time I met him, I said, hey, I'm in my 40s. You know, I've been in a couple different things, and I've had, I was in the state government, so I got some plans over there, and I got some plans over here, and this, that, and the other thing. Are you the kind of firm I can come to where you can put it all together and give me that holistic approach? John said, absolutely, that's what we're here for. You know, they deal with wealth management, they deal with insurance, they deal with your tax situation, and it's for people who, wealthy, non-wealthy, everybody in between. Convergent Wealth Management, ConvergentWM.com, ConvergentWM.com, Convergent Wealth Management.
When a counselor asked how much my husband drinks, I said, not that much. I don't know why I said that. He always drank too much. But I guess I'm so used to keeping it a secret that I didn't tell the truth to myself or anyone else. My husband has drinks with friends after work. He has a couple of drinks at home with dinner and a few more while we watch TV. Pretty soon he's shouting at me and blaming me for all of his problems. I just can't take it anymore. A counselor recommended Al-Anon family groups. She said Al-Anon members have had experiences just like mine, and they would explain how Al-Anon is helping them. I didn't want to go to Al-Anon, but I'm sure glad I did. Is someone's drinking breaking your heart? You might be surprised at what you can learn at an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-ALANON or go to alanon.org.
When smart businesses need to grow their team, they do it on the site proven to deliver, Indeed.com. According to an independent study, Indeed delivers 5 times more hires than any other job site, more hires than the rest combined. And right now we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job, boosting your listing and relevant search results. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Not available in all states. Hey, Tracy. Heard you started your own business.
Yep, a Reese & Irvy's frozen yogurt vending franchise. It's the latest revolution in healthy frozen yogurt. My robots...
Wait, your robots?
Yep, my robots deliver 7 flavors of delicious and healthy frozen yogurt to customers in high-traffic locations. And Reese & Irvy's provides everything we need to succeed.
And the robots do the work?
They work so I don't have to.
How can I get my own robots?
Simply go to froyofranchising.com, enter promo code 2222, and submit your information. That's froyofranchising.com, promo code 2222.
The news of the day.
I strongly urge the committee and the Senate to confirm Chris Wray as director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Every day.
Donald Trump Jr.
In retrospect, I probably would have done things a little differently.
Moving into perjury, false statements, potentially treason.
St. Louis's FM News Talk.
We will be in session the first 2 weeks of August.
FM News Talk 97.1.
I wouldn't want to go home and face the voters either.
We should be here doing the people's business.
Younger, smarter, better.
The Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1.
This is why your industry is dying. You are why your industry is dying. This is why there is a thirst, a market, a demand for One America News. The demand for honesty has never been higher because of people like you, people who distort, people who pretend to be impartial but twist reality into something unrecognizable just to fit your political agenda. Mark, I read your article yesterday, waiting for some shoe to drop, and at the end, I laughed. The only problem you have with our network is you hate Donald Trump. We cover the news fairly. My show is an opinion show, and I'm openly conservative. You should just say it, Mark. I know you want to. If you want to say you hate a conservative network because conservative media is threatening to your progressive ideology, just say it. Have the courage to say it.
Yeah, that's wow. That's what it boils down to. So this Washington Post hack writes this attack piece on Liz Wheeler of One American News, which is yet another conservative news outlet. And thank goodness, Ken, more and more of them are popping up every year. So One American News, they just started a couple years ago, and they're coming on pretty strong. And I love Liz Wheeler because she's one of the most articulate, direct people I listen to. Because she really she reminds me a lot of Bill O'Reilly, actually, with the way she does the talking points.
Right.
I think she's maybe more of a conservative than Bill O'Reilly. Bill kind of likes to straddle the middle lanes of the highway there sometimes. But Liz is definitely a devoted conservative. And, she comes out of the blocks pretty hot, usually, especially when she's doing her monologues. And this Washington Post guy just slams her in basically calling them fake news and so on and so forth. And so Liz comes back with her monologue. And she said, this is exactly why the liberal print media is dying. Now, the liberal news media on television is still kept alive because basically they're supported by taxpayer funding. ABC, CBS, NBC. People are like, well, what are you talking about? Well, that's our public broadcasting airspace. It's our public airwaves. You look at the cable networks, and most people, I won't say everyone, but a lot of people have cable now, right? Like back when Ken and I were growing up, it was like a big thing, and now it's become almost
no
like...
commercials ever.
Right.
We promise.
Right. Now it's become like almost mundane, right? People have cable, okay? In your basic cable package now, you get Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, so on and so forth. So it's almost a given that it's I guess that's the next step below absolutely free, which is you have an antenna, or you turn on your TV, you get ABC, CBS, NBC, regular Fox, Air Fox, and then you get your cable package, and you get Fox, MSNBC, and CNN.
Right.
Well, people have to pay for that. That's paid advertising, and so. But if you look at the ratings, Fox went through its little bump with the O'Reilly's departure, and there was some worry about Hannity maybe leaving. They shuffled the entire lineup. Okay, guess what? They got back on their skateboard. They're cruising along now, and they're back. They're number one.
Yeah.
They're number one again.
And they're saying CNN's like 13th.
Right. Like, there's more people watching reruns of Little House on the Prairie than, which was a great show, than CNN. And MSNBC is like literally in the toilet. I mean, they barely register some nights. The only thing keeping that show on the air is Morning Joe, because I think people watch that to see what's latest in the soap opera drama between Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, who are now engaged. Good grief.
And he better hope that Trump doesn't ignore them.
Right, because they'll just disappear. So the reason you see all this stuff on TV, my point is, the reason you see all this stuff on TV is it's just kind of there. It's a lot of it's automatic because we pay for it. So let's compare that to like radio and let's compare that radio and newspapers. Let's talk about radio and newspapers now. Newspapers, especially a lot of the liberal ones, are struggling, like big time. Look at the Post-Disgrace right here in St. Louis, the Post-Dispatch. Like, not a month doesn't go by where we don't hear about layoffs at that paper or something, or somebody else is being early retirement or whatever. I mean, they're like clearing house. Same thing with the Kansas City Red Star. Same thing is happening to them. Now, to their credit, the Kansas City Star has definitely got a little bit more of a conservative bent to it in some of their editorials. In fact, they just trashed Claire McCaskill this week. They did, Ken. They actually did. I don't know if you all saw that. If you didn't see that, pull up that editorial. They called her out on a lot of her duplicity and her hypocrisy and, saying one thing. It's like Claire she thinks we're such a bunch of hillbillies that we don't have TVs here. She says one thing on these talk shows up in, Meet the Press and whatever she always goes on. That's where she feels in her comfort zone. Then she comes back into Missouri and says totally different stuff in her town halls.
That's what upsets me the most about that person.
Right. So she is going to be the presumptive Democratic nominee until she says she's not running. I still think there's a chance she may not, but, she's got $5 million in the bank. She may roll the dice. She has to decide whether or not she wants to go out a loser, because I think she's going to lose. If we get any of the candidates that I've seen thus far, and, I told you earlier in my top three, we're still waiting for a big name to decide or not, and that's Josh Hawley, Attorney General Josh Hawley. And I'm not just making this up. There was a news story this week, a true one, not a fake news one. The Vice President of the United States called Josh Hawley.
Wow.
How do you tell the Vice President no? I guess you don't tell him no. I guess you tell him you're thinking about it, maybe.
Probably.
Right. We're getting our committee set up, and we're working on this and we're working on that. So that's what you probably do there. So where I was going with all this is TV is kind of propped up, number one, by taxpayer dollars for the public airwaves. The cable news has its different set of economics there, but you can look at the rating system there, and you can see that Fox is leading the pack has for like years, stumbled a little bit earlier in the summer, back on top again. There was a story last week. They're back on top again. Look at the liberal, the print media. They're constantly being bailed out by some left-wing funder like George Soros. Somebody had to buy the LA Times last year. A lot of these lower-level liberal papers are either disappearing or they're going online. Then you look at radio. With the exception of one channel on the SiriusXM lineup that I'm aware of, Ken, I'm not aware of any liberal radio programs. I mean, there's a couple of them.
I know there are, because you see them being interviewed on Fox,
right,
because Fox is fair and balanced.
And they're mainly from California.
Right.
There's that one lady. There's that one lady with the long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's her name? She's
don't
on.
remember her name.
She's been around. She's actually pretty good.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they have her on, because she's left for sure, but
right,
she also doesn't like try to shout everyone down.
Maybe I should have phrased the question better. Tell me the nationally syndicated liberal radio talk shows.
Yeah. No.
Like I said, I think there's one on the pay service, satellite radio. Alan Colmes, God rest his soul, used to have one, and he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was.
Old-fashioned.
He was absolutely left.
Yeah, but kind of old-fashioned in the way he was kind of nice about it.
Right.
He could actually
almost snarky.
Yeah, he was snarky, but he could make a point without like going to anarchy, you know?
Right.
But all of the other liberal commentators, Ken, they're all on the conservative talk show. They're all guests on the conservative talk shows. And let me start naming them. You know, you got Sean Hannity, you got Laura Ingraham, you've got Brian Kilmeade, you've got
Rush,
you've got Mark Levin, the great one. I think Savage is still on in many markets.
Yeah.
Michael Savage.
Oh, yeah. Bill Cunningham.
You've got Bill Cunningham. Then look at this station. You got Jamie Allman. You got Randy Tolbert. You got Mark Cox. You got Tim Jones. You got Dave Glover.
Annie Fry.
You've got Kevin Jackson. I'm leaving people out. Stacey Washington, I know, has an online show somewhere. I mean, you could go on and on and on, and I cannot give you the laundry list on the left because people don't want to listen to it. They don't support it. The advertisers don't support it. You know, I guess if you were an advertiser in favor of attacking cops and going after people on college campuses and burning cars and blowing things up, I guess you could support a left-wing radio talk show. But see, those really hard businesses.
I know.
So, hey, Tim Jones with the Tim Jones Show. We've got media malpractice coming up next. We got Mayor James Knowles in the 8 o'clock hour. Talk lines are open as well. 314-969-9797. 314-969-9797. Tim Jones Show, FM News Talk 97.1. Happy Sunday. Keep it right here.
Cause I was wrong, and I was thinking about her.
The Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1.
Traffic reports at your fingertips. Real-time traffic online. Log on to 971talk.com for real-time traffic updates.
Brought to you by Frank Lita Acura. With 0.9% financing going on now. Can't beat a Lita. Online at litaacura.com.
If you're retiring in the next 5 years, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, First Vice President Investments with Stifel and host of On the Money, heard every Saturday from 11 till noon on FM News Talk 97.1. Retirement is a huge step, and when it comes to investing your retirement assets, you can't afford to make mistakes. It's vitally important that you work with an experienced professional to guide you through the important retirement decisions. If you're retiring soon, let's meet to develop a clear plan for your retirement goals. Your meeting is an opportunity to understand your retirement options and receive my personal recommendation on how you should proceed. Of course, your consultation is free of charge and requires no obligation on your part. If you're retiring in the next 5 years, now is the time to review your plan. To schedule your free retirement plan review, visit bobstockdale.com or call me at 636-448-7655. That's bobstockdale.com or 636-448-7655. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
At Spectrum Business, we provide your business with the very best internet and voice solutions for less. What does that mean for you? It means your business gets faster internet, more advanced voice, and over 99.9% network reliability. It also means no added taxes or fees, and no contracts, ever. Because at Spectrum Business, we believe in earning your business every day. Just call 866-200-6171 to get faster internet speeds, up to 100 megabits per second for only $44.99 a month. And that's not all. You can also add advanced business voice with unlimited long distance and over 30 calling features for just $29.99 a month. It's all part of our commitment to redefining what a cable company can be. Call 866-200-6171 today and switch to Spectrum Business to get the best value for your business with faster internet and advanced voice. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
This is Savannah Guthrie with an urgent story developing all across America. Despite having more than enough food available, there are nearly 16 million kids struggling with hunger. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks engages local communities in solving hunger by collecting surplus food, giving hope to hungry kids. But they need your help. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
What? Why? Just wait for the inheritance. We've definitely got a rich uncle somewhere. We're one call away from the winner's circle at the Derby, dinners with multiple forks, a vacation home in the country, using summer as a verb.
You don't actually think that, do you?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch, where you can get the world's most comfortable sheets for less than half of what you'd pay in the store. Our sheets are made from 100% organic cotton and get softer over time. Even 3 U.S. presidents have Boll & Branch sheets. Try them for 30 nights. If you don't love them, send them back for a full refund. Go to bollandbranch.com today for $50 off your first set of sheets, plus free shipping with promo code SLEEP. Spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com. That's bollandbranch.com, promo code SLEEP.
Well, I finally improved my credit score.
What? The band is about to be discovered. Rock gods don't need to worry about credit scores. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, make ridiculous on-tour requests, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
Yeah, I'm not banking my retirement on a band that's never left your garage.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Weeknights, 9 to midnight. Mark Levin.
Who was the president? Who was the CIA director? Who was the attorney general when all this occurred?
Mark Levin. Weeknights, 9 to midnight.
We know who they are.
On FM News Talk
97.1.
This is the Tim Jones Show. Call now, 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Hey, happy Sunday evening. It is the Tim Jones Show. Welcome to FM News Talk 97.1. You can listen to us live on the radio. You can also stream us live on the radio. A little space hog there for you.
Yeah.
Going way back. I always tease my wife. This is her favorite song from that time period. She goes, no, it's not. We just kind of like it. I think I met her around this time when they were playing Space Hog. So.
Oh, wow. And this should be dedicated to your wife, then.
I don't know. Did they ever? She'd love that, yeah. My poor wife. Poor Suzanne. She had 4 kids with her tonight.
4 kids.
Good Lord. Not all of them are ours. But,
God bless her.
My cousins, Michael and Allie, in from Cleveland visiting with their cousins, Katie and Abby, my daughters. They're going to have a great week this week. They're going to tear both the houses down. Welcome to FM News Talk 97.1. So I was saying you can stream us live, 971talk.com, 971talk.com. You can put that on your phone. There's an app for that. Download it, Android store, iPhone. There are so many ways. Ken's got, I always forget, I shouldn't because the webcam is looking right at me. YouTube channel. We got the YouTube channel, yes. The Tim Jones Show.
Running live.
We are running live tonight. We got the webcam up. You can see my Slimans t-shirt here. Go to Slimans. Great place in Cleveland. They should sponsor the show. You know, why not?
Yeah, really.
Cleveland's not that far.
No.
So, great sandwiches. And you can listen to our podcast. Thank you to Annie Fry, the great Annie Fry of the Annie Fry Show. She does a lot of that behind-the-scenes work here at FM News Talk 97.1, works on all the SoundCloud stuff. And if you go to 971talk.com, click on the show lineup, you'll see all the shows from Monday morning at 5 a.m. when Allman kicks off with Allman in the Morning, all the way through the whole day, all the way into Saturday, all the way into Sunday. And at the bottom, there's Sunday night. I'm kind of wrapping up the weekend, kicking off the week. You got the Tim Jones Show. Click on that, and you've got all of our podcasts from the last many weeks.
Yeah, and you'll have the interviews each night that you hear us live. Then you'll hear a little bit later on in the evening, we'll put up the podcast.
Yeah, Ken and Andrew do a great job getting that stuff up, and I really appreciate it. Well, our talk lines just blew up here, so let me get to these folks first. Ken, I may have to bump media malpractice. We may have to just wait till the next segment.
Listeners first.
So I want to talk to Kay, Ron, and Chris first, if I can get through all 3 of them here. Hey, Kay, good evening. Welcome to the Tim Jones Show.
Oh, thank you for taking my call. When are the Republicans going to stand up for Donald Trump? I mean, the Democrats, no matter what, they stand up for one another.
Yeah.
The Republicans trample one another to get to a microphone when a Democrat or now reporters, I hate using that term, the news says something bad about Trump. I understand he's not a politician, He's not one of them.
Kay,
do they not care about this country?
Kay, you took the words right out of my mouth. Isn't it true? For instance, every time there's like a new revelation about the fact that Trump may have met a Russian or somebody may have seen a Russian or somebody talked to somebody with a Russian last name, you're right. First they do all the Democrats, right? Schumer and Warner and the whole despicable crew. And then, Kay, you're right. Don't they then run right over to John McCain's office or Lindsey Graham, and they have something negative to say about their president, who's the president of their party?
I'm so tired of it. Why should I vote? Okay, Blunt hasn't come out, and I don't hear him standing up for Trump. I don't hear Workman standing up for Trump. Why should I vote for these people?
Yeah, I tell you, Kay.
Workman was the first to come out negative against Trump when he, whatever stupid remark he made.
Right.
She didn't just come out and say, I don't agree with what he said, but I stand behind him. I support him. She didn't say that.
Yeah, Kay,
I'm taking my support away, so I should vote for her.
It would nice
She's
to see,
in my district.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a little more solidarity. Hey, Kay, thank you so much for calling the show. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Have a great night. And Ron, good evening, Ron. Welcome to the Tim Jones Show.
Hey, I just really love your show, and I'm glad there's a radio station out there that's willing to stand up for what's right for this country and everything. And one other question, I wasn't on here to promote rap music, but there's a song I really liked right before your commercial break. It was called, I think, like Going Deep, like a rap song.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
That was Nelly. That was Nelly. Only Just a Dream. Only Just a Dream. It was Only Just a Dream. It was Only Just a Dream by Nelly. And the reason I play that, Ron, funny story, Nelly, when I was a state representative, Nelly, I don't know if he was a constituent or not, but his mom lived in my district, and the word was that Nelly bought that house from her and was there a lot. So I thought that was kind of funny. So
okay, hey, if you would also play, there's also another great song. I mean, I'm on here promote rap, but there's a great song by Plato. It's called No Angel, and it's just a great song with a good beat. And check it out. Maybe next time I listen to your show, maybe you might listen to it and see what you think.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. You know what's funny? Nelly did a great duo with, he's done a lot of great duos, but he did one with Tim McGraw, of all people. He's a pretty eclectic artist, and that's why I like him. He's a good guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for your time,
Yeah,
Tim.
thanks, Ron. Thanks so much. And Chris. Good evening, Chris.
Hey.
Welcome to the Tim Jones Show.
Hi, Tim. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you this evening?
Well, I'm okay.
Good.
I'm just
What's up?
wondering, what is going on with Chris Wallace, Fox? I mean,
Yeah.
they've always been both sides, but Chris Wallace, the way he goes after Jay Sekulow, who I have...
Yeah, did you watch that interview today?
He goes after him
Yeah.
all the time. And Jay Sekulow, I have followed him. He's been in front of the Supreme Court. He is a great man, and he treats him... He's just always down on Trump.
Yeah, I may have Ken pull a little piece from that because that was a hot exchange, and I agree with you. Allman, I know Jamie has him on every Thursday, and I like Chris Wallace, but because I think he's an objective journalist, but I agree with you. He's gone way overboard in being hypercritical of the president, like not giving him any quarter. I don't remember him being this tough on Obama. I really don't.
He never was.
Yeah, and it just upsets me that he's not a little more fair. But hey, Chris, I appreciate you listening to me though. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't know. Ken, does Wallace think he's gotta be extra tough or something because he's on Fox? And
yeah, I think he has to try and really aim at the conservatives and Republicans just so he can show that, hey, I'm fair.
I think he tries a little too hard sometimes.
I think he tries way too hard.
I'm just like,
he
okay.
Really does.
I'm like, okay, I get it. You want to be an objective. You want to be a journalist. And folks, let me explain the difference. There is, and I know it's hard sometimes to tell the difference these days. On all of these networks, feel, okay, so all these networks, they have their commentators and they have their news people. And sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, especially on like MSNBC and CNN. Fox is pretty honest about telling you, and sometimes they do it themselves. Like Hannity, I hear him all the time say, I'm a commentator. This is an opinion show, blah, blah, blah. Jamie Allman does the exact same thing. And that's where I learned. I mentioned Jamie a lot because he's my mentor, and I learned a lot from him. He said, look, we have news. You know, he in the morning he has Denise Schaefer, and they do news stuff. It's real news. It's not fake news. It's the news of the day, local, and then Jamie brings you some of the national news, but then he commentates on it. And a lot of times it's hard to tell the difference. Now, Chris Wallace, I think, would tell you, Chris Wallace would say, I'm not a commentator. I don't give you my opinion. I only ask the questions. And he's a news guy. However, there's a way to ask questions. I can tell you this as a trained lawyer who was in a courtroom many, many times cross-examining people. There's a way to ask leading questions and basically tell people where your bias is, right?
Right.
You know that, Ken. You've heard enough interviews over your many years of extraordinary experience as an executive producer. You can ask questions a certain way. I don't feel that Wallace all the times asks his questions completely objectively. And he went after Seculote. If you have time, look at that full interview. It's about 5-7 minutes long. And I'll take a look at it here in some of our breaks and see if there's something I want to pull out there. But it was a pretty hard hitting. Although at the end they did joke with each other, and Wallace said, "Oh, it went better this time." I didn't catch the first one. The first one must have been really bad a few months ago. So, hey, we've got Mayor James Knowles live in studio. James will be in studio. We're going to ask the mayor in the 8 o'clock hour about the three-year anniversary of Ferguson coming up. We're going to ask him about what he thinks about Governor Greitens' crime prevention plan that he unveiled. Brother Bob, and if folks, if this audience isn't familiar with Brother Bob calls into a lot of the shows, especially Almond in the Morning and Randy Tobler, and he is an African-American. He's a leader, and he says, hey, I'm an independent conservative. That's a cool title. I kind of like that. I'm kind of an independent conservative as well. And Mayor Knowles is going to come talk about that. We're also going to talk about Game of Thrones, which starts tonight. Ken, I've got my DVR set. Are you a Game of Thrones guy at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. You know what it is? It's like I always say politics is a blood sport. There's a lot of politics in that series, and it really is a true blood sport in that series. Yeah. So not for children. Don't sit your kids down in front of the TV when the premiere starts. But you know what? Set your DVR, because you need to just keep listening to the Tim Jones Show here at FM News Talk 97.1. We've got Mayor James Knowles. I promise you we'll get to that media malpractice and more when we come back. FM News Talk 97.1.
The Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1.
Mark Cox here, and allergy season is here too. That means cleaning, and nobody cleans like the maids. They don't just push the dirt around like some cleaning services. The maids' professionally trained 4-person teams remove it using environmentally preferred products and a state-of-the-art vacuum with all kinds of crazy filters. So you can say goodbye to 99% of dust, pet dander, and allergens, and say hello to a healthier, thoroughly clean, down-to-the-baseboards home. You'll breathe easier after the maids team has been there. Count me among their highly satisfied customers who would recommend only the maids to family and friends. And remember, they back up their work with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy with any area of the service, they'll come back and re-clean it for free. Enjoy the peace of mind you'll get knowing your home will be cleaned with ruthless efficiency by the maids' specially equipped allergen assassins. Make life easier and call the maids today at 1-800-THE-MAIDS. That's 1-800-THE-MAIDS, or visit maids.com.
Power, performance, style, and a commitment to be the best. Jaguar St. Louis knows what it takes to be a winning team. Come out today and test drive the all-new F-Pace, recently named the 2017 World Car of the Year at the New York International Auto Show. Plus, all-new Jaguar models are backed by Jaguar Elite Care, our best-in-class coverage. Jaguar St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company, on Olive Boulevard and JaguarSt.Louis.com. Class is cars sold by luxury automobile brands, and claim is based on total package of warranty, maintenance, and other coverage programs.
When Dad needed help getting around, I became his driver. Soon enough, it was up to me to be his housekeeper and financial manager, too. When he moved in, I became his cook and even his nurse. But no matter what roles I play, I know I'm still his daughter.
We understand the roles you play. So to help, we created aarp.org/caregiving, where you can connect with experts and other caregivers. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Not available in all states. Hey, Tracy.
Heard you started your own business.
Yep, a recent Irvy's frozen yogurt vending franchise. It's the latest revolution in healthy frozen yogurt. My robots...
Wait, your robots?
Yep, my robots deliver 7 flavors of delicious and healthy frozen yogurt to customers in high-traffic locations. And recent Irvy's provides everything we need to succeed.
And the robots do the work.
They work so I don't have to.
How can I get my own robots?
Simply go to froyofranchising.com, enter promo code 2222, and submit your information. That's froyofranchising.com, promo code 2222.
When smart businesses need to grow their team, they do it on the site proven to deliver, Indeed.com. According to an independent study, Indeed delivers 5 times more hires than any other job site, more hires than the rest combined. And right now we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job, boosting your listing in relevant search results. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
KFTK FM, Florissant. KFTK AM East St. Louis. K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1.
The youngest victim of 2-year-old girl, 5 children and 4 adults killed in flash flooding in Arizona. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News. That's the sound of a wall of water, a sudden thunderstorm turning a swimming hole into a death trap in Gila County, northeast of Phoenix. The search there continues for a missing 13-year-old boy.
We are on scene trying to search the area below where the incident happened.
Sergeant David Hornig with the Gila County Sheriff's Department. Arizona's senior Senator John McCain recovering from surgery he had Friday in Phoenix to remove a blood clot above his left eye. It had the Senate's Republican leaders putting a health care vote on hold.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell now has some additional time to win over his fellow Republicans, particularly those representing states that expanded Medicaid under Obamacare. Their big complaint is the current plan includes massive cuts to Medicaid funding. So over the last week, McConnell has made a number of changes to the bill to help ease those concerns by giving those states additional funding. The Congressional Budget Office was scheduled to release its analysis of the revised health care bill tomorrow, but this afternoon it announced it will also be holding off on releasing its report while Senate leadership sees what other changes they can make.
Fox's Garrett Tenney. 2 deaths this Sunday in the world of entertainment. We're just now learning that Oscar-winning actor Martin Landau has died at 89 after a brief hospitalization. He became a star in the Alfred Hitchcock classic North by Northwest, won the Academy Award for this role.
Haunted.
Playing Bela Lugosi in the film Ed Wood. And director George Romero, dubbed the father of zombie films, dead of lung cancer at 77. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
Plenty of sunshine, nice from start to finish. 89 for the high this afternoon. Low humidity tonight, gorgeous. What a wonderful evening on the way. Clear skies and nice 65 for the overnight low. Sunday, partly sunny skies, few more clouds around. Looking for a high near 90. The heat and humidity building back next week. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
Hi, this is Barry Sanders for the law firm of Cordell & Cordell. Being a good football player didn't protect me from the trials and tribulations all men are subject to, like divorce and the prospect of losing all the things you've worked so hard for. You may not be able to save your marriage, but with Cordell & Cordell, you can try and minimize the devastation. I took the time to meet and talk with Cordell & Cordell clients and attorneys, and I can tell you that Cordell & Cordell has represented thousands of men just like you and me. If you're a man facing divorce, consider Cordell & Cordell, a partner men can count on.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Call the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's attorneys. 314-725-0000, 725 all zeros. Or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. This is a paid endorsement. Cordell & Cordell, Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning. So for the past few months, I've been telling you all about Zero Res, and I'll be honest with you, I've been sort of fudging on how long you could go between cleanings. I know it was a pretty good amount of time, but I really didn't know how long it was. So I reached out to Michael, who is the CEO and founder of Zero Res, founded it back when he was in law school, actually, decided that the people in the carpet cleaning business weren't that good. They'd been in the business for a very long time, and he thought he could beat them, and he has. So he pointed out that the average person, not super crazy dirty, not super crazy clean, when you get your carpets Zero Res cleaned, you can bank on between a year and 18 months before you ever need to call them again. So with the DGS discount, 3 big rooms at just $129, that's pretty darn good. Call them at 314-474-2020 to make your appointment today, or go online at ZeroResSTL.com, 314-474-2020, ZeroResSTL.com.
In yet another episode of private associations doing a better job at rescue efforts than the government, Airbnb and Dolly Parton save the day.
This is the Free Market Minute with Dr. Rachel Duchant.
You remember all these episodes, right? Walmart in New Orleans, the Cajun Navy in Louisiana, with the help of Facebook. And this time it's Airbnb and Dolly Parton in Tennessee. Thousands of families are displaced by those terrible fires in the South. Airbnb allowed purveyors in the South to charge $0. Hundreds of homes and rooms have been posted for those needing temporary lodgings. And Dolly Parton has asked all of her companies to pitch into the My People Fund so that displaced families can get $1,000 a month for the next 6 months while they get back on their feet. Because, you know, these are her people. Dolly's right. Charity starts at home. It just works better that way.
To learn more, visit Hammond.Institute. The Free Market Minute is a service of the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University.
Trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
Most people would have taken that meeting. The lawyer passport was approved by Attorney General Lynch.
Stay connected.
A promise to repeal Obamacare.
Finish the health care bill. Lipstick on a pig. It's cosmetic changes.
Obamacare is total meltdown.
Keeps most of the Obamacare regulations. I'm just not for that.
This is
Mr. DiNardo confessed in the murders of 4 young men.
FM News Talk 97.1.
The Tim Jones Show.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
The Tim Jones Show.
And so, right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say you're not going to be president.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States.
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump will lose the election.
At least I will go down as a president.
This is the Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1.
I'm president, and they're not.
Yes, he is. He's our president. He's a fighter. Yes, he is. Hey, we wanted to have somebody come in and drain the swamp. He's doing it. And that's why everybody's all freaked out in D.C.
You know, I was thinking about this, and I know he probably wouldn't do it, but he should learn God Bless America in Russian. You know that the liberals' heads would explode if he just said that.
And you know what's a shame? There is a huge amount of Russian Americans in this country.
Oh, absolutely.
Who have emigrated over here. You know, it's just ridiculous. It's just unbelievable. Hey, welcome to the Tim Jones Show, FM News Talk 97.1. Happy Sunday evening. Hope you had a great weekend. We're getting your week started right, wrapping up the week for you, watching all those Sunday morning talk shows that make your head want to explode so you don't have to. That's what I suffered through all of them today as I was prepping for the show. We've got some sound from that when we come up here in a minute. But I did want to, well, first of all, hey, Ken, I am one Twitter follower at a time. I am approaching 7,000 Twitter followers.
All right,
not bad for a kid from Eureka who
not too bad.
Who I don't buy. You know, there's companies out there for folks. Now look, there are some very famous people who definitely have built up a huge Twitter following, and there's ways to do it. You can also buy the followers. You know, like you get lists and stuff. It's like buying an email list. You know, I've done it one at a time. And I'm up to almost 7,000. So I want you to go. It's another way to follow the show, at Speaker Tim Jones, at Speaker Tim Jones on Facebook or Twitter. And follow me. You can follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. My troll patrol will leave you in stitches. There's a lot of left-wing loons out there that despise me, kind of like what Liz Wheeler was talking about earlier. And Liz and I are on the same page on that. Liz says the reason they attack me is because I threaten them. I threaten them with the truth and the facts, and they can't stand it because in the liberals' world, it's all about, how do you feel? And boy, CNN's Brian Stelter is going to tell you how he feels about certain elements of the media, and he's going to highlight our media malpractice of the week.
Welcome back.
Now, the Tim Jones Show presents...
Someone believes some fake news story.
Especially by the media.
This is very dangerous to America.
They're corporatist, globalist media.
Media Malpractice.
Welcome back now to the alternative pro-Trump media universe. For many months, pro-Trump hosts on Fox News have vehemently dismissed or denied accusations of collusion with Russia. They've said it's a media hoax or fake news.
Did we ever hear the phrase the pro-Obama media, despite the fact that they almost all were?
No.
It was okay. It was okay to honor the great one, the chosen one, the savior. And, discredited, let's remember how discredited Brian Williams was. Remember the guy who imagined that he was on an Apache helicopter or whatever flying in the war zone?
Yeah, he was in a different world altogether.
Yeah. He jumped in on this anti-Trump train this weekend as well when he said this.
Effort to normalize Russia and more specifically normalize the meeting that took place in Trump Tower. Those were Republican members of Congress responding to questions about this Russia investigation and that meeting involving Donald Trump Jr. and then some.
Laura Ingraham, I'll get to Laura in a second because she's not media malpractice. She kind of explains what Stelter and Williams are going through, and basically it's Trump derangement syndrome. And Laura says that it's become almost this is hilarious. I'll let her say it, but it's like the knee-jerk reaction of the media to it's like saying boo. It's like you say there's a Russian over there. Laura explains the media's reaction this way.
We keep hearing that the Europeans don't like him. He's really unpopular, et cetera, et cetera. Well, a lot of our friends in the media were saying a lot of similar things about President Reagan in the 1980s. I'm not saying Donald Trump is President Reagan, but I am saying, of course, that American presidents have often, when they stand for American interests first, they have often gotten rocky receptions in Europe. That having been said, I think Donald Trump has actually had some great interactions with foreign leaders, again, which is swept under the rug by a media obsessed with Pavlovian obsession with this story about Russia to the exclusion of all else. Macron stood with Vladimir Putin and had a joint press conference a few weeks back when Putin visited. Of course, Angela Merkel very tight with Putin because of the Nord Stream pipeline and the gas that they need in Europe. And I think it was a good day for President Trump. We'll see what comes of it.
Exactly. I mean, how come no one freaks out when the president of France or the premier of Germany, prime minister of Germany, has a meeting with Putin? But if Trump does it, like Laura said, everyone starts frothing at the mouth. It is very Pavlovian.
Well, what's crazy is just a common listener and viewer. I'm looking at this thing and watching the president shake his hand, and they are making a big deal about how many times he's shaking his hand now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really.
If you're not involved in that, what happened, what corresponded with the handshake, then you're like, what are they talking about?
They all need to be psychoanalyzed, Yes, that's your media malpractice for the week. Hey, Ken, we've, you know how I know the show has arrived and we're it now?
How's that?
One of our favorite liberal stalkers is on the line. Damon, good evening. Welcome to the Tim Jones Show. Damon? Oh, is he gone?
He's there. I see him.
Damon, are you there?
Nah.
Damon was gonna. So Damon,
he has a liberal phone.
I'll wait a minute. He has a liberal. Obama wanted his phone back. Wanted his Obama phone back. Damon is like the FM NewsTalk 97.1 liberal stalker. I think he started with Jamie and then he went to Tobler and all that. And so I saw that he popped up tonight. He was going to tell me he thought liberals were supposed to be snowflakes, but Republicans are sounding soft. Now that's Damon's latest antic. And oh darn it, Damon. Well, maybe he'll call back. So, hey. No, it can never be said that well, now let me see what I got here, and there we go. Okay, it can never be said that I don't give liberals like Damon airtime because I've had him on when I've done Allman, when I've subbed for Allman. He's called in when I've done. He calls in a lot on Saturday mornings. So Tobler. So I was like, wow, finally. Damon's calling the Tim Jones Show. Yeah, it hasn't really been that long.
Congratulations.
It's been like not even 2 months. So yeah, we're on the map with Damon, with the liberals. And I can tell you, just follow my Twitter feed. Follow @Speaker Tim Jones. Oh my gosh, there's some people that get a hoot. Like some of my Democratic friends. I do have friends who are Democrats. I will admit it. I have lots of them. I'm not this big horrible person that some people on Twitter think I am. And a lot of my Democratic friends say, "Wow, you really bring the heat on Twitter, but you're a pretty nice guy in person." I'm like, yeah, because that's what Twitter's for. I mean, they bring the heat to me. I hardly ever start it. I don't really go out. I don't have time to troll liberals. I guess they have time to sit around all day and troll me.
It's a lot of energy.
I'm usually just responding, right? I'm just usually retaliating. Well, and as I learned back in hockey, when I played hockey, that's, anytime you retaliate, that's when you get called. That's when you get the penalty.
Yeah.
That's when you get the penalty whistle. So, so I guess Damon was calling. Maybe he was calling about Liz Wheeler, because Liz Wheeler was complaining. Not really complaining. She was making a statement that the Washington Post reporter was attacking her. And here's what I want to say to Damon and all my liberal friends. I didn't play you the entire clip because it's pretty long, but listen to what Liz also says. That reporter attacked her, didn't call her for an interview, despite the fact she offered one, because she knew the story was coming, and she offered it afterwards on the air. She said, "Call me so-and-so used up, washed up, left-wing liberal Washington Post reporter. I'll be happy to bring you into our network." He apparently the story was what's under the covers, or what's behind the dark curtain at this network, And so she's like, "Call me. I'll have you in. We'll sit down. We'll have an interview.
We'll pull back the blinds.
Right. We'll let the sun in." Didn't call her. She said he didn't even respond to me on Twitter. It's like the guy, usually these left-wing trolls hide in mama's basement eating their Cheetos with their tinfoil hats on in their pajamas, and they feel like they're keyboard combat warriors,
Right.
But he didn't even do that. That's how much of a coward this guy was. So Liz Wheeler was just giving him, when you listen to that clip, she's giving him the throwdown, the smackdown, and it's just, she really, really brings the heat. In fact, let me play you the first part of this, which is number 6, Ken. So Liz, this was kind of like maybe halfway through her monologue here. It was about 3 minutes long-ish or so. This was the first part where I just envision her like putting the Washington Post, like kind of like that CNN meme where Trump was wrestling CNN.
The visuals are great. Every time you bring that up, I'm like, yeah. I see it.
So envision, as Liz is hammering Washington Post, envision her grappling with imagine, I'm not advocating violence here. It's wrestling, right?
Snowflakes.
So it's not really, snowflakes. Imagine her with an imaginary, I'll say imaginary so I don't get in trouble, an imaginary Washington Post cartoon character and a cartoon Liz Wheeler. And listen to this clip, because she's like giving him the suplex in this.
Being what you accuse us of being. You are biased and dishonest. Your article made my day. Every time some troll on Twitter calls me the C word, or some liberal talking head calls me a bimbo or a Barbie, I know I won. You liberals wouldn't take time out of your day to attack us unless you feel threatened. You should feel threatened by us. This is what you wrote. One America News is an obscure TV channel struggling to emerge from the cellar of the cable ratings. Every day, millions of people watch our channel. Tens of millions of people watch my videos online. They tune in to see me expose your lies and your corruption, your unnamed sources, and your fake news.
Yeah, just absolutely hammered the Washington Post. So, hey, you know what? I've got Grover Norquist on the line now, and we're an hour off from each other, so I have a bad feeling that we may have gotten our time screwed up. So I'm going to go to him right now. Hey, Grover, good evening.
Good evening. Good to see you.
Hey,
good to hear you.
Yeah, thanks so much. This is Grover Norquist. He is the president and founder of Americans for Tax Reform, ATR.org. Grover, I've seen you a lot on all the cable airwaves. You've been very busy, my friend, these days, and I wanted to ask you first of all about something we've been talking about tonight, which is where are we? Where do you think we are? What are you hearing about the Obamacare repeal, replace, whatever we're going to do with it? Plan.
Well, the Senate is determined, the Republicans in the Senate are determined to pass a measure which greatly scales back Obamacare, reforms Medicaid, and expands individual choice through methods like health savings accounts. Now, 2 people have said they're not playing. There were 52 Republicans. So you need every one of 50 people in. Now, most everybody's in, but there are a few who sort of say, well, you can have my vote if I got this. And this is what happened when Obamacare went in. You remember the Cornhusker kickback,
yes,
where the Democrat from Nebraska got paid off, and the Gator giveaway, where Nelson, the Democrat from Florida, got certain deals and bargains, and the Louisiana Purchase. And those are the only ones that had cool names, so they're the only ones I remember. But since they needed 60 votes, there were probably about 60 deals. Now, so this will be worked out. It is unfortunate that people are not playing team ball as much as I think they ought to. But in a world without earmarks, it is the only way for one senator to walk away with goodies.
Right.
So it's terribly, it's something that they're attracted to.
Grover,
They'll
what
work it out.
Yeah, Grover,
They'll work it out. We'll get it passed.
Grover, what do we say to our and we love them dearly. We're glad that generally they're on our side most of the time. Our libertarian friends, like Senator Rand Paul and some other folks who say, oh, it's just not enough. It's Obamacare light, blah, 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 blah. I've looked at this. I've actually looked at the things that you just mentioned. And if we don't do this, we're passing up a huge opportunity to finally do some entitlement reform. And then we're stuck with Obamacare. And everybody who said they were going to do something on this for the last 8 years will have done nothing.
Yeah, there were a handful of people in the House of Representatives who could not vote for a bill that would have quickly passed the Senate. So they delayed the whole process 6 weeks, while they worked out in their view, perfect bill that was never going to pass. It was never going to be even discussed at the Senate side. And you wonder, did they not understand? People who refer to themselves as constitutionalists should read the Constitution every once in a while, because in it points out the annoying thing that you could have a House of Representatives that's quite conservative, but if the Senate isn't there, the bill, if it's going to be law, has to be passed by the Senate,
yes,
as well as the House. And for 8 years, we had Republicans screaming, what's the matter with these Republicans? They have the House of Representatives, but not the presidency and not the Senate. Why don't they just pass everything we want?
Right.
I wanted to say, well, you see a bill. That's why those little things on Saturday mornings where they explain to kids that the bill has to pass the House and the Senate, it gets signed by the president, should be put on nightly news so the adults could see them. It's no good thinking up the perfect plan and then expecting somebody to pass it.
Absolutely.
It's great to have the perfect plan. It should be out there like the North Star, but you always sail towards the North Star. You don't get to the North Star.
Right.
You sail towards it in order to get to England or someplace else.
Exactly.
We have, as you were saying, a very real opportunity to have the first major reform of an entitlement program since Clinton was forced to sign. Remember, we passed it 3 times, took it the third time to sign welfare reform, to block grant it to the states. This block grants Medicaid to the states. If we don't do this, the states all go bankrupt. They all go bankrupt for Medicaid alone. And putting it out to the states, the competent governors will shine, and the incompetent governors will lose the next election. And I think it's one of the best things we could do to improve the quality and caliber of governors, which is to give them a grown-up program with serious resources, with a lot of decisions to make, and sometimes it means saying no, and sometimes it means prioritizing all the things that bad politicians don't like to do, but true leaders understand are necessary and are helpful to the whole country. This is a great bill. It's not a perfect bill. It is in the right direction. Those of us, look, I've never been in a room where I wasn't the most radical guy in the room that came to cutting taxes and spending.
Right.
But I've also never been in a room when I wasn't the most patient person. And that means if what you're doing reduces taxes and reduces projected spending, it is a compromise in the right direction. You wanted more. I want more than it's in this bill. I want more than any bill that this Congress could pass. But I recognize that there's much more to be done. This is step number one in reforming all entitlements. And look, if you're trying to get from Washington, D.C. to California, ending up in Missouri is not treason. It's on the way.
Exactly.
It's a compromise. It's if you're going to get to California, you at one point have to pass through Missouri, and that's okay. That's a compromise. But if somebody tells you, and too many of our people on our team have been told compromise when what the other team was actually saying or the media was saying was lose. So if you say I'm going to California from Washington, D.C., and you end up with your shoes wet and everybody around you speaking French, you've been heading in the wrong direction. That's not a compromise. That's losing.
Exactly.
And the press, like the establishment press, likes to say, oh, you should compromise, have a tax increase. That's
right.
Losing. Not compromising. Compromising is moving towards liberty more slowly than you'd like to because there are mountains and rivers and Democrats in the way.
Exactly. Hey, Grover, we got to run, but thank you so much. I'm going to have you back on when we get to tax reform because that's really going to be the big enchilada that we're all really looking forward to. And in the meantime, folks, you need to look at atr.org. There's tons of information about the Obamacare repeal and replace, about the beginnings of the tax reform package. It's excellent, and it's comprehensive. So, Grover, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Good to be with you.
And I'll see you again soon. That was Grover Norquist, ATR.org, president and founder of Americans for Tax Reform. This is Tim Jones. We will have Mayor James Knowles up next, talking about the third-year anniversary of Ferguson. All that and more when we come back here at FM News Talk 97.1.
The Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1.
In touch.
I promised to repeal Obamacare. Finish the health care bill.
And up to date.
Lipstick on a pig. It's cosmetic changes.
Obamacare's total meltdown.
St. Louis's FM News Talk.
Keeps most of the Obamacare regulation.
FM News Talk 97.1.
AARP in St. Louis is proud to present the 54th Annual Moonlight Ramble Bike Ride, Saturday, August 5th at 8th and Sear in downtown St. Louis. Join us for an evening of fun as thousands of bicyclists take over the streets of St. Louis under the light of the moon. Register before July 30th and get a free commemorative Moonlight Ramble t-shirt. The Moonlight Ramble Bike Ride, Saturday, August 5th. Get more information and register now at moonlightramble.com. Brought to you by AARP in St. Louis, Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety, the Smile Generation, and Blue Moon.
People are always looking to invest in a good opportunity. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change, called Better Futures. With your investment, it helps students like me go to college. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
10-year-old Tyler Boone from Georgia makes the Dean's List. After waiting 2 years, Tyler gave his friend Gabby Ruiz a present she will never forget. You see, at age 4, Gabby was diagnosed with a hair loss disorder. And although she's gone through different types of treatments, she's been unable to grow her hair. So her friend Tyler decided he wanted to make her a wig. For all of these months, Tyler has been growing his hair. And he's been mistaken for a girl one too many times.
Kind of gotten used to it.
Tyler finally met up with Gabby for a photo shoot, and they measured his hair before Gabby personally cut it. The hair will be donated to a nonprofit, Children with Hair Loss, to make a wig just for Gabby. Following the photo shoot, the two walked over to the salon inside the mall where Tyler got treated to a new hairstyle of his choice.
Just want to make her happy.
Tyler, thank you for being such a good friend to Abby. You're a cut above the rest. And you made the Dean's List. Janice Dean, Fox News.
My name is Ruth Rusi, and this is how I live united. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Layla Ali. I might be undefeated in professional boxing, but there's one problem even I can't fight alone: childhood hunger. Over 17 million kids in America may not know where their next meal is coming from. That's 1 in 5 children. Yet billions of pounds of surplus food produced right here in America just get thrown out every year. That's more than enough to feed every last hungry child. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids before it goes to waste. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by going to feedingamerica.org. Together we can knock out hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at FindWW.
The news that's now Trump Care.
They've now taken the bill and made it worse. I think this will unite every Republican. Mitch has to pull it off. He's got to pull it off.
Concise and current.
During his hearing, Chris Wray continued.
No one asked me for any kind of loyalty oath.
There's no question that he's qualified.
St. Louis's FM News Talk.
Donald Trump Jr.
Exceedingly troubling.
FM News Talk 97.1.
If you want to talk about having relationships with Russia, I'd look no further than the Clintons.
Younger, smarter, better.
This is The Tim Jones Show. Call now, 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Well, for all you Game of Thrones nerds out there, like me and my next guest, and Ken, I don't know if Andrew's a big Game of Thrones guy.
Probably.
See, back in the old days, we'd be freaked out right now because we wouldn't be able to watch it. But there's DVRs and things now.
Right.
And anybody, I still got to sometimes, I won't mention who they are. Certain people, I have to tell them how to use the remote, but I've got that all figured out. I've got a series recording now. So you don't need to watch your Game of Thrones, people. And you know what? If you got kids who are under the age of, 13 or 14, they probably shouldn't be watching it, and you shouldn't be watching it right now either. So you'll keep the radio on. You get the kids showered and put them to bed like we do, reading their stories, blah, 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 like we do every night. Then you watch your Game of Thrones with your wife, your spouse, your significant other, your buddies, whoever. I may watch it with Mayor James Knowles later on tonight. We'll have come on over, James. We'll get the popcorn out.
We can bust out the HBO Go on my phone.
We could just do that too. Yeah, that's right. Mayor James Knowles joining me live in studio. He is the mayor of Ferguson. James, thanks for joining us here tonight.
Yeah, anytime. Appreciate the opportunity to come in and share with your listeners what's going on.
Yeah, I haven't seen you actually in a while. You're busy, I'm busy, but every once in a while I run into you over at First Rule Media Network because you're interviewing with the Allman Report. I bet you they're going to call you soon because we're coming up on the third anniversary.
You're going to make Jamie jealous. He's going to say, "I got to get the
scoop.
mayor back on."
Got the scoop. So
that's right.
Yeah. So James, let's talk a little bit. The reason it wasn't the third year anniversary that caught me first. It was, and I don't know why I identify you with this, but I just thought, you know what? I want to hear what Mayor Knowles, somebody who's been through some tough situations, weathered the storm well, went through a re-election bid. The people spoke. He was re-elected. And I want to hear what he has to say about Governor Greitens unveiling the safety plan. And you know what? The Post-Dispatch, as my grandmother, my grandmother, may she rest in peace, might say, well, God bless their hearts.
Right.
Tony Messenger and the goon squad over there, I say this in jest on Twitter, but I'm like, do they like anything about Missouri or St. Louis or anybody in it? No, they mainly hate Republicans, but the governor is trying at least. I mean, did Jay Nixon find St. Louis if he wasn't going to a Cardinals baseball game?
No, definitely not. And
James, I want to start off with that, and we don't have to throw salt in the former Governor Nixon's wounds. But I remember you telling me, this has stuck with me. I don't believe Jay Nixon ever reached out to you before, during, after Ferguson.
No, never. In fact, we can. Everything that needs to be said about Governor Nixon's been said, and
right.
He never stepped up before, never stepped up after. I will say, I got to give Governor Greitens a lot of credit here. Now, look, it's easy for the Post-Dispatch to take Governor Greitens and make him the whipping boy because he's getting it from both sides. I mean, there's Republicans in the legislature that he's having conflicts with,
right?
So for the Post,
but for the Post, it's easy because number one, he's a Republican.
He's a Republican.
He's a white guy. It's 2 strikes, right? What's the third? That he served in the military? They probably hate that too. He
likes, and he's a gun fan.
He likes guns.
He's a pro Second Amendment.
4
guy.
strikes, 5 strikes, 6 strikes, 7 strikes.
And so
But James, they're
just trying to. No matter what he does, and at least he is proactive in trying to do something.
Right.
No matter what he does, the Post-Dispatch is going to come down on him.
He's in his first year in office, and he has made it a habit of coming to the city of St. Louis and trying to draw attention to the problems the city has coming up with a proposal. So
absolutely. I mean, I
heard out of Jay
Nixon's mouth him tell me and a group of mayors in St. Louis, look. I'm just I don't remember where, Hillsborough, I think is where he's from.
DeSoto,
yeah. He said, look, I'm just a guy from DeSoto. These problems that you guys are having up here is beyond me. I mean, he admitted that to a group of St. Louis mayors during the unrest in Ferguson. Here's Greitens. He's from St. Louis City.
Right.
He understands what's going on.
Right.
His wife has certainly been victim to some
victim
of the
crime
issues. He came in and said, look, within the first couple months, he came here and announced his public safety pick right there in Ferguson, Delwood area, Resistor Tire, where it said epic fail Jay Nixon for, I think it still says epic
it still says it.
Jay Nixon. Here's a guy who has been proactive, and yet still nothing the Post-Dispatch or anybody else can say good about that.
What do you like about the governor's plan? What components do you like?
I think from a perspective of the state, what can the state really do? I mean, the state needs to be able to alleviate some of the pressures that St. Louis law enforcement has on it. And so immediately, I think it's great that the Highway Patrol is coming in to helping do some of the, interdiction along the highway, whether it's speeders, drug traffickers, whatever, anything going on along the highway. People oftentimes don't think about that, those traffic stops is where the officers are able to do some of their first investigatory, work, where they pull somebody over and they smell some marijuana, or they run a guy and they see he's wanted. And so that's, letting those officers come in and do some of that work on the highway and then put those St. Louis police officers back into the neighborhoods is great work. I think there's a lot that you hear the liberal media talk about. Well, we should be talking about some of these higher-minded things. You mean things like Republicans talk about?
Right.
Like creating wealth and jobs? If we create wealth and jobs, there wouldn't be a need for all the crime.
Isn't it funny?
If we could work on some education reform to really get some of these guys in these failing school districts educated, maybe educational choice, if we did some of these things, then we could get to the root of the crime problems. But the Post-Dispatch doesn't like that. They don't like the, quote, heavy-handed side of law enforcement that they claim the governor is using. What do they want?
It's funny that they always want to talk about things that we've already talked about or don't want to talk about. Same thing with the Russian thing. I won't drag you into that, but it's the same thing. It's like conservatives knew that Russia was a problem for 50 years, and I'm like, to the Democrats, welcome to the party. So, secondly, James, as we wrap up here, so tell me, the third-year anniversary is coming up next month.
Right.
And I remember last year you said, you know what? We're also going to make this about all that's good about Ferguson. So what kinds of good things do you have planned? Are you planning anything this year? Are you trying to get the community engaged in all the improvements that have happened? I know a lot's been done up there. I know a lot's been done up there because the media isn't reporting any of it. And if there was tragedy, they would definitely be reporting it.
Certainly.
So, yeah.
We just came off having a great 4th of July festival where the entire city came together to celebrate our nation's independence. We'll be working up towards the weekend before the Michael Brown anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have our back to school Unity Fest, which will be a great opportunity again for people from all walks of the community to come out, come together, enjoy some really great communal time,
Sure.
as well as get ready for going back to school. We'll be giving out backpacks, things like that, over at the YMCA. Street Fest is coming up in September. We have our farmers market every Saturday, where you have Black, white, Asian, everybody's coming out.
Those farmers markets, we have one in Eureka too. They're like sweeping the area.
And we've had one for I think we're going on 16 years now.
16 years.
Yeah,
wow.
and it's great. And so we have great things that are going on every day of the week, not just on the anniversary, but we do try to make sure that everybody, because we're coming up on back to school, this is an opportunity for the community to come together, rally around education, and support our students.
Last thing I wanted to ask you, have you, and we touched on this a little bit, have you, as the mayor of Ferguson, or just as a mayor, just forget about what specific city, because I know you have mayors groups and things like that, and you all kind of get together. Have you noticed a difference between the former gubernatorial administration and this one, as far as this communication with you all?
Yeah, and absolutely. We just had a meeting in Jefferson City. It's within the last month, and the governor just walked into the meeting, and people were surprised that Mayor Sly James in Kansas City has been working to try to bring some more kind of cross-state conversation between some of our regional mayors. And Governor Greitens came in. His staff was there and really wanted to engage with the mayors, and so. I don't know that that's really ever happened when Nixon was there. Nixon would show up at a meeting, he would read a prepared statement and leave before anybody could talk to him. It was a little bit different feel with this governor.
It's just nice to have the executive branch in general, having the Republicans take most of those seats, work with the legislature. So, James, let me, I think we're going to maybe hold them over to the next break. Ken's doing hand motions. I figured it out. We're like almost in the same wavelength. You want to hang out for our last break? Okay. Hey, James, if people want
to DVR, remember?
Yeah, that's right. If people want to find out, or if people want to follow you, or want to know what's going on in the city of Ferguson, what's the best way to keep up with you and the city?
Well, I'm on Facebook. You can always find Mayor James Knowles on Facebook, or City of Ferguson, fergusoncity.com. We also have a Facebook account for the City of Ferguson, as well as a Twitter account. So nextdoor.com is also another one we use within the City of Ferguson.
Oh, okay.
That's really a great tool for neighbors. You call City Hall. Anybody calls City Hall gets my extension. It goes right to my cell phone, so
awesome.
I'm pretty accessible.
And this is a dramatic conclusion to our segment here, and we'll keep you on for the next one.
Sounds good.
James, we can say to the audience, winter is here.
Winter is here. That's
FM
right.
News Talk 97.1.
The Tim Jones Show. This is The Tim Jones Show.
Dependable weather.
Clouds take control today. Chance of a couple of spotty
With Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray.
Brought to you by Air Comfort Service with 0% financing and double utility rebates on new HVAC systems. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
How was your day?
Fine.
Did you learn anything new?
No.
Anything I should know?
No.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be hard to connect with teens. Use Connect With Me activity cards to deepen your conversations. Visit health.mo.gov/connect to access these free cards and other resources.
A message from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services.
Listen up, men. This is the St. Louis Men's Clinic. You've heard our ads on the radio, you've seen our commercials on TV, and you've seen us in the sports section of the newspaper, so you know what we do. Our physicians specialize in treating erectile dysfunction and premature issues in men of all ages. That's what we do all day, every day. So you've probably heard our ads thousands of times. The other times you were just listening to our ads, we were helping thousands of other men recover their sex life. While you were only watching our commercials, these men took action and have the intimacy back in their relationship. Don't wait until it's too late. Do something about your issue today and move from skeptic to believer. We have a $199 office visit right now. Appointments fill fast. Call now, 314-828-2600. That's 314-828-2600. Call 314-828-2600. And don't forget to ask about our new revolutionary Priapus shot.
Last night we put on an epic light show.
Yeah, we did.
The crowd loved us. We love the crowd.
Wait, but there were only 4 people out there.
Yeah, but did you see their 4 faces? All 8 of their eyes lit up brighter than ours. And we're fireflies.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, that one girl, she looked like she'd never seen glow in the dark like this before, and we invented glow in the dark.
Yeah, we invented it.
And we're gonna be out here every night, rocking out our light show at a forest near you.
Woohoo!
So come check us out.
Check us out.
And bring your kid, all ages show. Oh, but don't bring any of those glass jars, because they make us kind of nervous.
Yeah, and I'm super claustrophobic.
Whether you're rocking their world or they're rocking yours, some memories never fade. Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you and discover other cool things to do when you go, like fishing, biking, or even camping. Visit discovertheforest.org.
See you later!
Yeah, see you soon.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We decided to volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement, too. We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic. We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Take an ordinary putty knife and scrape off the old wax ring. Place the new wax ring over the flange, then line up the bolts with the bowl and gently set in place, making sure a proper seal is created with the flange and drain. Next.
Dad?
Yeah, sweetie.
Is that an old plumbing manual?
Oh, yeah, honey.
We really need to get some new books.
Right, do you want me to stop?
Nah, I kind of want to know how it ends.
Okay. Tighten the bolts, line up the flushing valve to the opening in the top of the bowl, and secure the tank with a screwdriver and crescent wrench.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, St. Louis, it's Brian Kilmeade with a reminder to join me each weekday morning from 9 till noon as we cover the biggest and hottest news of the day. We'll even mix in some fun. Kilmeade and Friends, weekdays at 9 a.m. on FM News Talk 97.1.
This is the Tim Jones Show. Call now, 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Hey, yes it is. Tim Jones Show. U2's coming in September, Ken.
I know they are.
We're going to get our tickets.
I know, and give them away some on the air.
Jeff Allen. Jeff Allen, U2 tickets. So, hey, we've got Mayor James Knowles here in studio. We were talking about how difference between Governor Nixon and Governor Greitens' administration is actually paying attention to crime, and I hope Mayor Lyda Krewson, I was glad to see her at the press conference. Tony Messenger, of course, had to take a crack at her. Some line in his story about, and then she went and got in her SUV. Like, why is that a relevant thing to say? I mean, who cares? It's just disgusting. But, I'm glad Lyda was there. Glad Mayor Krewson was there. I have hopes for her. I think the Post-Dispatch probably hates her, too, because she's, like, too much of a corporatist in their minds. But that just means someone who wants to, like, create jobs. So we'll get back to James here in a minute as we wrap the show up. I can't believe it's like we're in our last segment already here at FM News Talk 97.1. Hope you had a great time listening tonight. I had a great time talking to all of you all. We had so many calls. I had in-studio guests. We had my family here. We had Game of Thrones. We crammed it all in, Ken.
We sure did.
That's right. We sure did. Let's see if my buddy Damon's back. Damon, welcome to the Tim Jones Show.
Hey, Tim, Congressman Tim. I would like to try to have a constructive conversation with you.
Yes, sir.
Because it's times like this where I feel the country is failing itself. When we, the constituents, Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever, what have you, don't call out the necessary wrongs when it's happening instead of covering for them, we just do ourselves a disservice, and we have who we have in politics. But with this particular Trump Jr. situation.
Yes.
You cannot. I mean, I don't see how you can honestly, with any integrity, say that there's no there there. That all of this is a witch hunt. That the fact that he knowingly knew that this was a operative from Russia, government.
But she wasn't.
But she, okay.
She wasn't. She wasn't, Damon. That's been debunked. I'm sorry, my friend. They're all mad because he was trying. Okay, I will give you this, Damon. Bad judgment. Bad judgment on Don Jr.'s part. Naivete of never being in an election before. He's not a professional like the Clintons. Bad judgment. But he didn't commit a crime, Damon. Electoral collusion is not a crime.
I never once said that he had committed a crime.
All right.
I am saying a crime of morality, a crime of patriotism.
Whoa, Damon. Whoa. President Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky, ring a bell? Crime of morality? You Democrats now want to talk about morality?
Pointing out again, Congressman, a wrong on the left does not do anything for the wrong that's what's happening now.
So, Damon, what are we going to do about it? He's not in the administration. You know that, right? He has no security clearance.
I do know that.
So what do we do about it? Can we not move on?
Who were on the administration at the time who was at the meeting.
Hey, Damon.
And then again, all of these lies.
Damon, I know, Damon, but it's not going anywhere. And you know what? I got a present for you. I knew someone, maybe you or somebody else, would call in and challenge me on this whole thing being about rigging the election. Right? This is what this is all about. We got to investigate.
I'm not even about the rigging of it. I'm not.
Then what's it about? Then what's it about?
I'm not saying anything necessarily about. I am saying that we have individuals, plural, who are consistently lying, sir. And there's no way, if this was happening in reverse with the left doing something like this, Clinton's, there's no way that you could not see what's there. And I say, as all Americans, the constituents, we should be together on this, Republican, independent, or Democrat.
Hey, Damon.
And it's about the integrity and the morality.
Maybe Donald Jr. should have deleted all his emails and smashed his email server with a hammer after he hid it in a bathroom closet in Colorado. Because that's what the Clintons did, Damon. And you want to talk to me and lecture me about morality? Your party has made immorality a professional sport. I'm sorry, my friend.
First of all, I'm not a Democrat, okay? I didn't vote for Hillary. I'm a registered independent.
Well, now, Damon, you've got my respect.
Okay,
I like that.
Let's get that understood. But again,
okay, Damon, I get your point. You want it called. You want balls and strikes called fairly on both sides. I get it. Hey, Damon, I got to run now, but I appreciate you calling the show, and I really appreciate you listening. I really, really do, Damon. But I don't know what he wants us to do with it, though. I mean, okay, I said, and see, that's the thing.
Prolong it.
You can never get an admission of anything out of a Democrat, and whereas Republicans will a lot of times say, okay, fine, you got me. And do I think Donald Jr. was brilliant throughout this episode of meeting with this lady who was a fraud and may have had something to do with the government, which he didn't? No. The first time the young man's ever been in, he's probably about my age, maybe a little younger, I think. I'm not really even sure. They're all really tall, so it's hard for me to tell, So, not good judgment, okay? But that's not a crime.
Collusion's not a crime.
And collusion's not a crime. Electoral collusion's not a crime. That has to do with the Sherman Antitrust Act. And what do you want to do with the poor young man? You want to take him out and tar and feather him and throw rocks at him in the public square?
No, they want to prolong it for 4 years.
They just want to keep talking about this. You're right, Ken. Mayor Knowles, I mean, you've been in elections, okay? Yeah. Number one, it's called opposition research, right? What
Absolutely.
Donald Jr. was trying to do.
Absolutely.
Number two, yeah, he probably should have, called somebody, asked for a lifeline, and maybe gotten somebody else to take this meeting or whatever. Yeah, because the Democrats actually said that. The Democrats yeah, he should have gotten an intermediary. So he should have hidden it, like a good Democrat would have done, right?
Right. So much for transparency.
But now what do they want to do with him? He's not in the administration. He doesn't have a security clearance. He has no position, official or unofficial, in the government. What do you want to do to the poor guy? Excuse me. This happened 14 months ago during the campaign. So I don't know. What
I think you're right. I think what you guys just said. They want to keep talking about it. This is the way to stifle any momentum in the legislative process to repeal the Affordable Care Act. I mean, this is all the way to deflect. And it's funny because liberals like to talk about us deflecting. Every time they want to talk about something, we tell them what the real problem is. They want to talk about what they think. This is them deflecting. Oh, it's not that Hillary did all these bad things. It's not that Hillary had all this dirt. It's about where you got it from, supposedly. And in the end, they didn't even get it from them.
And it's amazing that they changed the story and they act like the past never existed. And Ken,
Right.
let's play clip number 10. Okay, so because Damon says he doesn't care if the election, he says it's not about the election being rigged. Well, Obama said in this other clip I had that you can't rig elections. So we'll pass on that one. But this is all about Russia, right? This is all about trying to tie Trump to Russia, even though Claire McCaskill had meetings with the Russians and John McCain had meetings with the Russians and Lindsey Graham had meetings with them. They all have meetings with the Russians. They're a former superpower that still has a lot of nuclear missiles and is basically a gigantic, the world's international gas station, okay? So they have to be dealt with. They don't have to be your best friends to deal with them. But Macron has meetings with them, the French president. Merkel has meetings with them. Trump should be able to have meetings with the Russians and talk to Russians without it being about some collusion. Let's remember what Obama said back in 2008 about the Russians.
Governor Romney, I'm glad that you recognize that al-Qaeda is a threat, because a few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia. Not al-Qaeda, you said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back because the Cold War has been over for 20 years. But Governor, when it comes to our foreign policy, you seem to want to import the foreign policies of the 1980s.
The dear leader said back in 2008 that there was no problem with the Russians, but apparently there's now a problem with Russia. So I say to my Democratic friends, welcome to the party. You're like 50 or 60 years too late. I want to finish the show on a high note. Brother Bob is back, and he wants to say hi to the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor, I just want to make it perfectly clear. He is a personal friend of mine. We have not always agreed on things, but we went through some troubling times out there in Ferguson. He was working diligently with a lot of the hardcore protesters who ended up supporting him and campaigning for him out there. And that has shown the type of leadership that he has steadfast stuck to, and he's reelected. The only reason he is reelected because of our great Constitution that did not allow Obama and his Attorney General to get rid of him, and our soldiers that died will have that right, and we can have our disagreement and everything. So I am so pleased because he and I have had many calls and breaths together with his mom and his dad, the first baby that was born, now his second one. And he is much further advanced now in the healing than what we had at the time.
Hey, Brother Bob. Brother Bob, I know the mayor appreciates that. We got to run though, Brother Bob. Thank you so much for calling. And I want to thank you,
Brother Bob.
Yeah, Brother Bob's a great guy. I wish we had more time for Brother Bob because I love listening to Brother Bob. Brother Bob, thank you so much for calling. But they're gonna kick me off the radio here in a second when the big fox swoops in. So thank you to Ken, Andrew, Mayor James Knowles. Thanks for coming in studio.
Thank you, Tim.
We're gonna run home and rewind those DVRs,
Thrones,
whatever you do with those DVRs, and so on and so forth. This is the Tim Jones Show every Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. here at FM News Talk 97.1. You can follow me throughout the week at Speaker Tim Jones on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you to my wonderful wife, Suzanne, for chauffeuring down the whole crew. Katie and Abby and Michael and Allie. Have a great time this week, kids. You all need to be back here next Sunday, and tomorrow morning, we'll see you again, Allman in the Morning, 5 a.m. Tim Jones Show, FM News Talk 97.1. Have a great week, y'all.
The Tim Jones Show.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve, as they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at FindWWP.
My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community, many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home, and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within the community, and when we do, we unite them. We make the community stronger. What I do is something I wish someone had done for me, and I am so grateful I am able to. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunities and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm 1 out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger.
Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help.
Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So of course we all know there's lots of talent in America. But unfortunately, there's something else we've got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. But here's the thing, this problem is entirely solvable. Seriously, we already produce more than enough healthy, nutritious food in this country to feed every single last one of those hungry kids. We just need a way to get it to them. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is out there every day gathering surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families all across the country. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by Window World.
FM News Talk 97.1.
2 Hollywood legends have died. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The actor Martin Landau was 89. His publicist says he died of unexpected complications during a hospital stay in Los Angeles. He starred on the TV show Mission Impossible, making a bunch of movies as well, winning a Best Supporting Actor Oscar, playing the actor Bela Lugosi in Ed Wood in 1988.
I have no home.
He was nominated again the next year for his role in the Woody Allen movie Crimes and Misdemeanors. And the director, George Romero, has died.
Most of his movies shot in Pittsburgh, where Carnegie Mellon grad George Romero got his start working on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but his directorial debut earned him the nickname Father of the Zombie Films. 1968's Night of the Living Dead, considered a black and white masterpiece, inducted into the National Film Registry at the Library of Congress.
There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed.
Other films, including Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and Creepshow, would follow, all featuring Romero's satiric sense of humor and subtle social commentary. The score from one of his favorite films, The Quiet Man, played at his bedside Sunday when he died of lung cancer at 77. Jay Metzler, Fox News.
9 bodies have now been found in flash flooding in the Tonto National Forest in Arizona, with a 13-year-old boy still unaccounted for. Gila County Sheriff's Detective David Hornig says this was a group of 14 people on a day trip at a swimming hole.
The heavy rains flooded the creeks, and this large family unit was down by the river and had practically no warning that this flash flood was coming down the river.
4 people were rescued. The people who died were 2 to 60 years old. A Chinese-American art history researcher named Shiwei Wang is sentenced to 10 years in prison in Iran, accused of spying. Fox News, fair and balanced.
This is the sound of a brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building. Now a stylish glass coffee table. An electric guitar. These are the things you could enjoy, all cast into oblivion. Because when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have bought with it. Visit EnergySavers.gov and get tips on energy and money. Then do things like switch to Energy Star light bulbs or Energy Star appliances, and you could save hundreds of dollars a year. So this doesn't happen to the recliner you've had your eye on. Or this to the treadmill on your wish list. Or this to the shiny new bike your kid's been asking for. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
It's unclear when there now might be a vote on the Senate Republican health care plan. Arizona Senator John McCain's recovering from surgery. They needed his vote, and an analysis of the bill by the Congressional Budget Office is now running behind schedule. A show in the sky tonight for much of Canada and the northern United States. The Aurora Borealis, the northern lights, should be visible depending on the clouds, with the best views starting in about an hour.
You can usually only see the northern lights in Alaska.
It's like the lines, like little streaks of green and purple.
That tourist at a Boston restaurant is from Bar Harbor, Maine, where they see them all the time. But for southern New England, the northern lights, if you can find a spot tonight in the city that's not too cloudy, is a rare event. A solar flare is the reason why. Charged particles from a coronal mass ejection will interact with the Earth's magnetic field to create the color in the sky. In Boston, Bill Marcus, Fox News.
The character's decades old, and the new version's making some history.
Jodie Whittaker is the 13th Doctor, becoming the lead in science fiction's longest-running series, Doctor Who. Whittaker had previously starred in the British crime drama Broadchurch as Beth Latimer.
I can't give myself to another child when I failed the last one.
You didn't fail.
I did. We did.
She will replace Peter Capaldi, who had been the Doctor for the last 3 seasons. Whittaker will be the first woman to portray the alien time-traveling hero, who can regenerate with a new face every few years. She will make her debut in the series in the annual Christmas special, and then she'll pick up the keys to the TARDIS and head on out until the next Doctor. Eamon Dignam, Fox News.
Baseball. The Washington Nationals get some bullpen help, finally, for their fans, trading with the Oakland A's for Ryan Madsen and Sean Doolittle for reliever Blake Tynan and a pair of prospects. Washington's in first place in the National League East despite terrible relief pitching all season. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News Radio.
I love being a part of the Action Team.
For more than a decade, Major League Baseball players and action teams of high school students have been working together to train and inspire the next generation of volunteers.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
All-stars Giancarlo Stanton and Chris Capuano join action team captains to make a difference in their communities.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
For more information, go to actionteam.org.
A ranger station. I'd like to report a bear hug. Okay. I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me. So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold? Uh-huh. Yeah, but he's just letting you know you did good. Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update. I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com. Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Log on to 971talk.com/Allman and you can watch the show live on the Arrowhead Building Supply Studio Cam.
Use your mobile device or computer to join the All in the Morning live stream.
Arrowhead Building Supply Studio Cam, 971talk.com/Allman.
FM News Talk 97.1. Willie.
Brought to you by Choice Hotels. Econo Lodge and Roadway Inn hotels are serving up double points for every qualifying stay. Book at choicehotels.com. Now, here's the man who's been recognized as radio's best. The recipient of not one, but 2 prestigious Marconi Awards for his broadcast excellence. The one and only Bill Cunningham.
Hi, this is The Great American. Good to have you with me tonight. And by the way, next Sunday night, we're going to have Mark Levin here. Mark Levin has a new book out, which is #1 on the New York Times best-selling list. And I'm a fan of his, and he's a friend of mine. But get ready for Willie and Mark Levin next Sunday night. But coming up later, we have Cheryl Atkinson, who has a Sunday morning show. I watched her this morning, Full Measure on Sinclair. Also later on is Rosalind Layton about net neutrality, and Dr. Herb London about the crises happening right now in Syria. But Rosalind Layton is an expert on net neutrality, which I only had a passing knowledge of until the last few months when I started reading up on it. And what it says essentially is that they want the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, to take control of the Internet. That means government bureaucrats controlling content that you observe, read, and watch on the Drudge Report, on Daily Caller, on Red State, on Newsmax, on Fox, on CNN, whatever's on the internet. The Democrats the last few years want to control that through the United States government called the Federal Communication Commission. And the Republicans, who generally care about freedom more than Democrats, have always advocated net neutrality. In other words, don't let the government decide what you see on the internet. And tomorrow, Monday, or the next day, there's going to be votes taken in the FCC, which are very germane to whether or not watching the Drudge Report, which I'm doing right now, whether that would be legal if the Democrats have their way. So later on, Rosalind Layton on that and so much more. But, of course, the big issue tonight is that it appears that the Republican health care vote, thank God, may be delayed several weeks. According to media accounts this morning, John McCain had surgery on Friday that may be more serious than initially described, and it may delay his return to Washington by, according to McConnell, a week or two, but according to medical experts, several weeks. He had some sort of a 2-inch blood clot over his left eye, inside of his cranial, inside of his brain. And there was an eyebrow incision made at the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix. Following a routine annual physical, this blood clot was located. You might know the last several weeks or months, the good senator from Arizona has been confused during questioning. So there was an opening of a skull on Friday. Eyebrow incision would be used to reach a clot in or near the left frontal lobes of the brain, neurosurgeons who were not involved in John McCain's care said. So this was completely unanticipated by Mitch McConnell. So it appears that the vote in the Senate by the Republicans may be delayed several weeks. And I hope it is killed, put a wooden stake through the heart. It should not happen. To my way of thinking, the Republicans now are rallying behind a stupid, idiotic bill that would hurt them and hurt the country. Let me explain. Let's go back to the original premise of Obamacare. You know, the Democrats always give us the wondrous cost-saving government programs, how great things are going to be. They lie from the inception. You talk about collusion, you talk about delusion, it was Obamacare. Because now we're being told that if the Republican bill passes, premiums will go up and coverage will be difficult, which is exactly what's happened the past 7 years under Obamacare. Premiums have doubled or tripled, and there's less care that all of us are receiving because the government is too involved in health care. They promised us, as you might recall, each family would pay $2,500 less in premiums. Lie. If you like your doctor, keep your doctor. A lie. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. It was a lie. It was a lie in the inception. The birth was a lie. It was a collusion. It was a delusion. But, you know, liberals always tell us the wondrous cost-saving government programs. Of course, Medicare started off as about an $8 billion cost. It's now north of $600 billion. The costs continue to rise out of control because there's no market forces holding down expenses, holding down costs, and giving us more care. To give you an example, when the government was in charge of telephones, what did that look like? Ma Bell, rotary dial phones. When the government got out of phones, we got Apple. We got iPhones. We got the wonders of the internet available on our phone and the explosion of the information available to us. When the government is involved in something, costs skyrocket, quality goes down. So, from the inception, Obamacare was a lie from the beginning. Now, what sets Americans apart is the freedom we should have as Americans. Free minds, free Americans, free markets, and free people. If I don't want to pay, for example, looking at my list of the important 10 essential health care benefits that we all must carry because we have to pay for individuals that can't pay their own bills. If I am permitted to buy insurance, I would not buy maternity leave for me or for my wife. It's very unusual, very odd for individuals in their 60s to get pregnant. I would not pay for newborn care. I would not pay for medical mental health services and addiction treatment. The odds of me at my age becoming a drug addict or an alcoholic are not very good. I don't need, I think, mental health services, although some may disagree. I'd wash that out of my plan completely. I would wash out of my plan pediatric services, which includes 2 routine dental exams for my children, an eye exam once a year for my children, and corrective lenses each year. So if I wash out of my insurance premium all the things that I don't need, in other words, if I have freedom, my premiums would go down significantly. Significantly. Right now,